So we've stitched on our ruffle to our dress, and we're just going to seal that edge with a bit of bias binding, and all you'll need to do is measure the bottom of your dress and then add an extra ½ inch just to cover over our gap, and we're just going to press our bias binding in half. So when we stitch it on, it'll go through both sides. So you can buy pre-done bias that's already folded. Otherwise, just take your 1 inch bias binding and press in half, like so. So we've just taken our folded bias binding and we just need to pin it onto our dress. You'll see both sides are pinned on here, and with that little extra overlap, that ½ inch, I've just folded that edge over so it tucks in neatly and there'll be no edges left to fray. And then we'll just need to stitch our bias binding onto our dress, and we'll have sealed that edge. So after we've stitched down our bias binding, we're just going to press our nice little seam allowance up towards the top of the dress there, and then we'll do a top stitch just to secure it all down. After a quick press of our seam allowance, we're now going to stitch, top stitch everything down. Now it's easiest if you can pop a few pins in just to hold that seam allowance up towards the neckline of the dress, and you can feel your way around this a little bit, but I find somewhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch is the best place to pop your stitching in just to hold that seam allowance down. So we're going to go ahead and start with a stay stitch and go right the way around. Now with top stitching, it is nice to do a bit of a longer thread, a longer stitch. So I'm just going to change my stitch length to 3. You can just check your machine manual to check which length you'll need to change yours to. And once you've done your top stitching, the only thing left to go is our ribbon.